Good morning, everyone, or whatever time of day it is for you. It's morning for me. Making a little Nintendo morning here with my Nintendo World New York Cup. Welcome to another Fireside Chat. I'm Wesley. I think this is volume 4. Today we're going to talk about this bad boy right here and a few other things, but this bad boy right here that I picked up just recently. I took it out briefly. Now it's 116 degrees outside here in Phoenix, but I took it out briefly on the Nikon Zf, and I tested it a little bit on the FE as well. Give you my impressions and overall thoughts. Look how clean that is, by the way. This is a mid-90s lens. It looks brand spanking new. So we're gonna go over that. We're gonna go get through the unboxing of it to start, talk about my buying experience with MPB, give you a little bit more backstory on the lens, show you some sample photos, give you my thoughts and impressions, wrap it up. All right, let's get into it. All right, guys, this is gonna be a quick unboxing. I got a new lens today from MPB. I have never ordered from MPB before, so I'm hoping it's gonna work out. We'll see. Let's open it. Oh, that is great. Sound issues. All right, here we go. See, packaging. Whoa, not bad. Not bad. Look at this bad boy. Oh, look at that. Nikon AF 28mm f2.8D lens. F Mount. Let's take this out of the box and see what it looks like. This has already gone on too long. Let's open this lens up and check it out. All right, at least they shipped it in the original box, which is kind of cool. Inside of here is some bags, I guess. So no actual packing material in the box itself, just some bags. Okie dokie. Well, this was labeled excellent, and I gotta say, look at that thing. It is absolutely in excellent condition. There's not a scratch on this thing. It's almost like it's new old stock. Look at that. There's not a scratch on it. It's in perfect condition. Even if it's not the best lens, it's going to produce some cool results. And this right here, focus throw, is a lot longer, and I can even see the lens screw in and out. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. It's nice and smooth. And we have our aperture ring here. Let's make sure this thing operates accordingly. Why is it not moving? Why is it not moving? There's gotta be, oh, there's a little tiny switch right here that holds it down. So once I get that, it moves freely. And it clicks nicely. And as you can hear, the focus ring has a nice kind of sound to it as well. Once you get over to F22, you can lock the lens down in F22, and I believe that's probably in an automatic aperture as well, kind of like the Fuji's have. Beautiful, made in Japan. Look at that. This thing is in great, I mean, all smell tests. Doesn't even smell like an old house. This is a 34-year-old camera lens. 34-year-old camera lens. I'm surprised it looks like it does. Wow. Wow. Alright guys, I'm gonna get this put on one of my cameras, do some testing, and let you know all about it. Alright guys, see ya. Alright, well I have it on here. Might as well show it to you. Check it out. Boom. FTZ, got the 28mm on the Nikon FE, and I'm able to get I'm able to get a green box when everything's in focus, and it seems to look like it's focusing regardless of the fact that it's not on manual focus. So it had me put it on f/22, and I can actually adjust the f-stop with the front wheel here, which is kind of cool as well. So it works on the Nikon Zf just fine. I got to do some more testing with it, but I figured I'd just show it to you. This is what it looks like on here. All right, back to it. All right, guys, now I have it on the Nikon FE film camera, native mount, obviously. Looks pretty good on here. It's a little bigger than the 50mm. That thing's a tiny little baby, but it natively fits on here. Cutting, well, this is how you turn the camera on by just opening the shutter release. Now I'm gonna see what it looks like to look through it on here. It shows that I'm in f/22. So let me change that. And now I'm at f/2.8. My meter is all the way down at 1/8 of a second, so this is probably gonna look terrible. Let me see if how this thing, oh, it still uses the same prism focus, which makes it a lot easier to focus. All right, I'll be right back. See ya. All right, now I am filming and recording audio on two different devices. Okay, I'm recording audio on this because it's probably superior to this, which is in the shot. Maybe I can drop it like this. Hello, testing 1, 2. Oh god, this mic sucks to clip to you. No, unlike this one. That's the reason why I'm doing two different audios today. But we'll see what it sounds like, and we'll use the best one. All right, so as you can see, unboxing went pretty well. MPB packed it very well. So I've had zero issues, zero thoughts of the quality of the packing, of their rating on the lens. They rated this lens like new, and absolutely, it is a definite like new. If you want to know more about the lens, check out Ken Rockwell's site. He goes into all the details about when it was made, what it replaced, how much it weighs, what it's made of, is it water sealed, whole nine. So I highly advise you check him out for that. I don't want to just plagiarize his site when you know the traffic could help him as well. So with that being said, I will go into the little details about the build quality of this lens. I mean, it's not anything to write home about. It is mostly plastic. So this lens came out, like I said, in the mid-90s. It replaced the E-series glass, which is similar to what's on here. It has that same screw focus motor, or focus motor. It has the same screw type focusing system where it pretty much reaches infinity, or reaches a hard stop on both sides. So that same screw motor that reaches a hard stop on both sides makes it pretty easy to focus, especially when you're using the prism focus system that's in the FE. But when you're using the ZF as well, it's pretty easy to focus because you're just setting your distance, and then you can fine tune it when you put it up to your eye. But you can preset your distance as you're walking around. If you see something you want to shoot, you just go to the distance scale, set your distance, then bring it up to your eye, fine tune it, and away you go. Makes it pretty easy to shoot with both these cameras, if you ask me, especially on the ZF, because it actually brings up a green focus box that turns green only when what you are focusing on is in focus, which is amazing, actually. It makes using a manual focus lens on the ZF pretty much a breeze. Check out his site. This retailed for around $265 when it first came out, so it's similar to this plastic Nikon 40mm f2 SE lens that is for the Z mount system. So it's pretty much, that's the 28 f2.8 version of the SE lens is pretty much the replacement for this in today's terms. So I love that lens, and I love this one too. And I know it's not going to be a top performer. That wasn't the point of this purchase. The point of this purchase was to test old vintage lenses using the FTZ adapter on my ZF and see how it performed. And I cannot say enough good things to date. So to date, whatever, you know what I'm trying to say. So before we go into the Before we go into more details on how they performed on both cameras, let's talk about the buying experience at MPB. I purchased both from MPB and from KEH in the past. I've done a lot of trade-ins or sells or what do you want to call it at KEH. I haven't sold to MPB yet, so I don't know exactly what that experience is like, but I can tell you that the KEH selling experience is pretty awesome. Both experiences were great. The reason why I like MPB better, the reason why I would recommend MPB's buying experience better is because they take pictures of every single device. That is what you're gonna get, the picture of. So I'm OCD, and if I got this and it had a big scratch across it, and they're like, oh, that's still excellent, it's still perfect, it just has a little, no, nope, I can't do it. I would stare at it, it would irritate the living shit out of me. I can't do it. It's the reason why I have a new phone every 6 months. As soon as it gets a little bit banged up, see ya. And it's terrible, I know, but say la vie. So, I like MPB's buying experience because I'm able to see exactly what I'm buying. I went through and looked at several of them, and when I settled on this one, it looked in pristine condition, and it came in pristine condition. So, I can only tell you that from my experience buying from MPB, I couldn't recommend it enough. I want to go over my thoughts using the FTZ adapter and a manual focus lens on the FE. I know many of you are looking at the FE with the brass dials and that Nikon nostalgic body, and you're like, well, you know, this would be an amazing camera to put some vintage glass on and test out. And that's exactly what I thought. And that's why I had to buy the FTZ adapter, so that I could do that. This is just a piece of metal, and the fact that you have to spend $250 on a piece of metal that has a little bit of electronics in it is ridiculous to start with. But I digress. It should be like, I don't know, $99 tops. It's also on the FTZ adapter, and I put it in like a little category for how did the autofocus work. Well, guess what? It didn't. It didn't work. And one of my YouTube viewers actually told me it wasn't going to work. So I was expecting it not to work when I got it. I guess the focus motor on this is different than the focus motor on the newer Z mounts, and the FTZ adapter doesn't focus with this, which is fine. What it did allow me to do though is that if I lock the aperture on the aperture ring right here at f22, I was able to then adjust right here my aperture on the ZF. So I was able to actually control the aperture, and the only thing I had to really worry about controlling is the manual focus, aside from everything else. Everything else was controlled on the wheels. Made it pretty easy to use, to be honest with you. I didn't have zero issues with it. And the focus, the way it focuses, I actually ended up turning the peak focusing off. When that focus box turns green, you know you're in focus, so what do you need to hold the red focus peaking, basically cluttering your screen up. So anyhow, I turned it off at the end of the day, and I didn't regret it. The pictures that I took at the farmer's market, while they're not, oh my God, stunning photos that you're gonna fall in love with because of the cinematic greatness. They are great quality photos for what they are. Technically great, I should say, maybe not compositionally great. And I wasn't going out there trying to get great compositions. I was going out there to test this lens and see how it performed. So take a look at them. You can tell me what you think yourself. But as you can see in the test photos that I took, for this being like a 30-year-old lens, it renders on a 24 megapixel digital sensor very well. Compared to my 42mm f2 SE lens, you can clearly see more sharpness on the 40mm for sure, but that's not all that makes a photo. Like, I know that sharpness is important, but the look of a shot, the look of a photo, people use vintage lenses for the look because they're less sharp, because they have a certain look to them, certain roll off between the in focus and out of focus areas. That's why people use them. I can tell you right now, I put this 15mm on my ZF. It did not focus for shit. It took me a lot of attempts to get a good shot with it. But when I did get a good shot, look at it. Wow, it was amazing. But it did not focus as easily as this did, because this had the green focus box. And because there's some contacts that work with the FTZ adapter where there's zero contacts on here. The Nikon FE had no idea what aperture I was in, It had no idea anything. It could still meter, but it didn't understand anything. It didn't get any camera data from the lens, whereas this provided a little camera data. So I think my vintage lenses going forward are still going to expand the gamut of from the late 50s to today. But I am going to look at, getting some more of these D-type lenses, and also I might even get a couple G lenses, which is the newer ones that will not work on here, but I still might get them because I think it would be a cool addition to the lineup. Now, my thoughts on using the 28mm on the Nikon FE. I can't say what the photos are going to look like yet because the film is, I'm only 5 shots in, just roll of film, and I can't tell you, which is why I wanted to be able to use these lenses on the ZF. I can tell you it handles well and it focused very well using the prism focus system that's on this rangefinder camera. So we shall see what the photos look like when I get the roll developed, whenever I can get through the entire roll of film. But for now, just wanted you to know that these are, that it did handle real well on the FE. That brings us home with overall thoughts and what I recommend it. Yeah, long story short, yeah, I definitely recommend it. It's a $100 lens that'll you can add to your lineup, give you that 28mm focal length. Say you don't use 28mm a lot. Why spend a lot of money on a higher end one when you can buy one for $100? It looks brand new and operates like a brand new lens, and the photos look amazing. So I would absolutely recommend this lens. Would I recommend it over the 28mm f2.8 SE lens? Probably not. If you're going to have an FE, if you're going to have a ZF only and you don't have any F mount camera bodies and you just want Z mount, that 28mm f2.8, I've used that for several vlogs and several videos filmed in the studio, and it functioned amazing. Functioned great. So I'd highly recommend picking up the SE lens if you want something that's going to be easy to use. I don't want something that's going to be easy to use. I want to challenge myself. I want to see what the looks of these older lenses. Everyone talks about the patina and the vintage looks of these older lenses, and I'm going to find out if there really is a difference. And that's what I'm going to keep doing. I'm going to buy some more lenses. If you got any recommendations on some lenses, let me know. So I would absolutely recommend this lens. It's a really great budget lens. It's really small, it's lightweight, it's easy to use. It's not water sealed as well as some of the newer Z mount lenses. So be careful with that when you're out and about with it. The photos don't have that clinical look. They have a lot more character to them, I believe. If you have this lens, let me know your thoughts on it. And I definitely am looking at maybe the 85mm f1.8. I want to get one of the older lenses without the autofocus, because I feel like I'm not going to be able to autofocus with these mid-80s and before lenses anyway, so what's the point? I will say though that this distance focus meter on here, as you can see that spin, showing you your actual distance, is awesome. For $100, it's definitely a keeper, and I can't wait to buy some more and show you more. All right guys, that's it for this week. Thanks for joining. I'll see you next week or next time with another video on something. See ya. Peace. Bye. Hold on, wait for my coffee maker to make all of its noise. Okay. Start over. Cut.